Hi friends. So this is a refresher on how to make a custom texture, okay? And the way I'm going to go about this is I will pull in a reference image. I'm going to use the tools in Photoshop to make it have a perfect repeat, and then I'll bring it into my SketchUp file, okay? So I'm going to go to the Googles. So I'm gonna go to the Googles and I'm gonna get some stone. All right, so stone, rocks. Okay, I'm gonna go to the images. Okay, so here's a nice pile of rocks, right? Let's see. This is very landscapey. Ooh, this is good, right? This is like a wall texture. Let's say I was doing a fireplace in my tiny house for some crazy reason. I like this wall texture. I'm going to Command, copy image. So I right clicked on it and I'm going to copy the image. Okay. And then I'm going to bring it into Photoshop, Command B. And I'm going to blow it up to fill the whole space. And that's with the T, Command T, transform tool, right? Blow it up now that it fills the whole plate, okay? And let's now merge. Okay, so my background is now this stone. Okay, the problem I have is if I were to endlessly repeat this, if I were to make it a pattern texture, for example, and endlessly repeat it, the edges are not going to line up and it's not going to look cute in my final thing, right? So what I need to do is create a texture that has perfectly repeating edges on all of the sides. And the way I'm going to do that is I'll take this stone layer, I come up to filter, go to other and go to offset, okay? And then I shift, right? So that the center is that line, okay? Where the offset would be, okay? Once I've done that, my goal is going to be to make a seam in that line that looks kind of normal, okay? And the way I'm gonna do that is using the clone stamp tool, okay? So the clone stamp tool allows me to pick up a rock that I like and move it into some other place, okay? So if I hold down Option, it captures that rock. And now I can create a copy of that rock on the seam so that it doesn't blend weirdly. Now, unfortunately, that rock is right next to its friend, so it's kind of obvious. So I'm going to come down here, right? And I'm just kind of blending out these various places where there's a seam line. Okay, and a useful thing to do is to use the cracks in between rocks. So if I come over here and I grab this crack between rocks, I can now put that kind of in between those rocks and make it look more like it's just the edge of the pattern, right? So now I don't see that line as much as I would. Okay, so I've sort of cleaned up that center seam. I'm now going to I'm going to save, right? Save it on my computer, stone, repeat. I'm going to do the same thing with the vertical edge, right? So this edge will now seamlessly wrap around, but the vertical edge doesn't. And so I'm going to go grab that other offset again. This is going to be 0, okay? And I'm going to use the vertical edge to get that seam right down there in the middle. And then I'll do the same trick, okay? So I'll just be like, Option, pick this up, add that in, using my clone stamp tool, okay? And make it seamless repeat down the middle of the project, okay? And now there's not a line, right? There still will be a repeat that you'll see visually in your SketchUp file, but there's no lines, and now it has this perfect endless repeat setup. So once I have it all seamless repeated, okay, I can go up to edit and define pattern, okay? And then we can call it that, okay, fine. And now let's create a new layer on top and we will fill it with this pattern, okay? So I'm gonna just do one of these and pattern fill, and let's do my new stone pattern, and then to test it out, right, I scale it down. See, 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 perfect, nice, endless repeat on that stone, okay? So now I know it's good and it works, and that's awesome. And so I will just save this as a PNG file, right? So in Photoshop, I go to export, quick export as PNG. So file, export, quick export as PNG, and I call it stone repeat, and it's just gonna live on my desktop for when I need it. Okay, so now let me come back in SketchUp and we'll show you how to put that on a wall in SketchUp. Okay, I'm back in SketchUp. I haven't furnished my house. I'm just putting this stone, I'm gonna throw it up on this wall, okay? So the way I do that, remember, is I'll grab my stone repeat file, drop my file here, bring it in as a material, okay? And if I wanna be real happy, I wanna stick it on the wall as I go, right? Because it's now stuck onto my cursor. And it doesn't seem to be excited about sticking on my wall. There it goes. All right. So I finally locked it into that wall, onto that face. And now I just want to kind of give it a sense of the scale before I click the second time, right? So I think this is probably a good scale. When I click the second time, now it fills the wall with that stone pattern in that scale, okay? So now I have sort of a weird stone wallpaper going all over my house, okay? So that is the custom texture step that I would like you to do as part of this project. I don't necessarily think you need to put stone on the wall, right? You could put wallpaper on the wall instead if you wanted to. Oh, unsupported file type, hold please. Right? Put wallpaper on the wall instead if you wanted to, right? I'm bringing this in as a material now. I'm gonna zoom in, stick it into the corner of this wall, and make a wallpaper instead, right? That might feel a little bit less bonkers as a texture, right? So then now I have a wallpaper on my walls, right? Whatever creatively works for your project is what you should use, right? But you want to think about it as a custom texture for your tiny house and create it using Photoshop, okay? So that's the last step that I am really serious about. Beyond that, you are totally welcome to use any of the materials that exist, right? So you can find them in your materials browser. You can go search in the internet and get all kinds of cool materials that you might want to use on your house. All right, friends? So that's all we need to do, hopefully. If you would, after you've done that, create some renderings that you can share with us in class next week when we present these final projects on the last day of class, that would be fantastic. So that's the task moving forward. You'll finish these up on our asynchronous day next week on Monday, and then we'll present them to the class on Wednesday. All right, friends, I'll see you soon. Bye.